I was talking to a friend earlier today about what kind of leader we need in the next iteration of this country. And I told her something that had been sitting on my mind for a good day or so. Because I absolutely realize that we've given the men a try. We really have tried. We let them have almost 250 years of an attempt at trying to run this country efficiently. And honestly, before women even got a chance to be in these offices, efficiently and efficiency was barely a thing. Oh, we were doing okay, but we weren't doing great. Unless we had, you know, a first lady like Ms. Roosevelt who could actually get some changes going on, like Miss Onassis or Miss Kennedy Onassis Kennedy, whatever. She made it look a little bit more like a home. But the rest of that stuff, very cold, very personality blank. Let me give you an example before we get into this next part. When I was in Georgia, I did some extras work, right? And I was on this particular show. It was a movie. It had the Nick Cage of our day, Marky Mark, Mark Wahlberg was in there. And it was some movie for Christmas or whatever. And it was run nearly entirely by men. Y'all, it was kind of shoddy. No one paid attention to how the extras would fare in such frigid weather, one. But also, we were walking through puddles, and I had a particular pair of shoes that, being a feature extra, was going to be on the camera again and again and again. And so my shoes actually got ruined by the time I finished the movie. My scenes in the movie, I had to throw them away because the men weren't prepared. They weren't prepared for having people stand around in like 30-degree weather or 40-degree. I don't know. It was cold, right? This is Georgia. And, lunch wasn't prepared like right. Somebody had to organize that. Like it was not an efficiently run set. And, for the most part, I was kind of used to that because most of the sets that I've been on have been pretty much male run sets. But then I had to shoot a commercial the following year, just like 7 months later, in Florida. And this commercial was pretty much women led. I'm talking women coming out the rears, the back doors, the design, the producing. It was women led. Efficiency was the name of the game. Over and beyond. I had such a great experience on that set, feeling cared for, feeling thought of, feeling like I was actually a part of something as opposed to something to not pay attention to, someone to not even pay attention to. These women were just so good at their job, right? And this was before we shot, while we shot, and after we shot the commercial. I didn't even know I was going to become SAG eligible from this commercial. I just had such a great time on that set. It was like a 12-hour day, and while I was tired because of the way that they poured into us, I just wanted to keep giving and giving and giving. Listen, I was chugging my energy drink and making sure I took my Adderall earlier in the day so I was not flubbing these lines. I was trying my best because I just wanted to really show up and perform, as opposed to that cold winter day where I was like, shit, I'm about to leave. Not to mention, on that set, I was actually sexually harassed by someone else who was an extra. Let's not talk about how that was handled when I reported it. Fast forward, I'm on another set, and this one is largely, again, male run, and it was for a commercial that was shot in November. efficiency was not the word. We didn't know what day we were shooting, when we were shooting, where we were shooting. The only efficient parts were the parts where the women were actually handling it, like the makeup department, the wardrobe department. But everything else, mm-mm. So I got to thinking about that the other day. How men do not think of the details. They might think of the larger picture of what they're trying to get, right? But they don't know how they want to get there. In some ways, they talk themselves into thinking it's creative license. In other ways, they try to create these impossible demands for people. Think of Bezos leading Amazon, how he has these huge demands on his warehouse workers and yet doesn't provide for them. Not quality air, not heat, not cooling. Yeah, I guess I'll never work for Amazon again, huh? But when it's male led, especially the men who don't have any in touch with their feminine side, their compassionate side, their feminine energy part, when men don't allow women voices in, it's usually not efficient. It's usually something bellicose or belligerent. Think of the administration that we currently have, where we have now renamed it the Department of War because we're going to be on the offensive. That means we're going to be the aggressor, by the way, in case anybody didn't know what that means. Not we're going on the offensive. We're going to be the aggressor. We're going to start the wars. That's what that means, Hegseth. And why was that a poem, by the way? Who says lethality and legality? Like, what poet, wannabe poet, wrote that speech you read? So back to the thought. I think we gave them the guys a good run. The guys have had their shot. They've had their chance. It's time for women. Like, literally. Not in an ideal, oh, I think we should have a women president. We should have one. No, if we want some efficiency, if we want attention to detail, if we want things to run smoothly, if we want people to feel like they're cared for and being taken care of, we've got to have women running. I know y'all want Gavin. He is great in this moment, just like Bernie is great in his moment. But Bernie would not have been a good president unless he hired really good people. Then, yeah, we could say he could be, right? But the one thing, like, for instance, with Biden and Obama, is that they hired women to handle a lot of these things. Like, we literally saw Hillary in the Situation Room with Obama when they got Osama. Or was it which one did they get? I forget. It was something. But you saw that woman sitting in that room with him because she was Secretary of State. It takes women. It does. And I don't care what people think. This is proven over and over and over again. Women have an eye to detail. They also take care of people. And they're not so quick to go to war because they weren't raised to play with little fighter toys. Women are capable of strategy. They're actually really damn good chess players. We can hold more than one thought at one time. I don't want to give the example at all of the bad side of women because we've seen some, right? We got some now in the administration. We got one who's in Club Fed. But at the same time, it still illustrates the point. We need to be looking at an efficient leader. We need a woman.